It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Folks, hello and welcome to another live edition of Take It to the Max Sports. I'm here with my trusty cohort, Max Arendanda. Good to see you, Max.
Good evening.
We gave Jason the night off, so he's not here. So Bob's pulling double duties.
So any screw-ups are Jason's fault.
That's right. Aren't they always Jason's fault?
Well, yeah, but now they're really Jason's fault.
Well, that voice, that unseen voice you heard is Brother Bob. So we've got kind of what I say the turkey edition tonight, kind of a hodgepodge menagerie of a bunch of topics, kind of like turkey dinner. Everything's out there. You just don't.
Before we start, I just want to recap last week. Max and I went 2-0. You went 500, which only gets you in the Hall of Fame if you're playing baseball. It doesn't get you in the college football playoff if you're playing college football.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. It's kind of like my stocks today. My stock is going way down when it comes to picking football games. So, folks, if you want to make some money out there, do exactly the opposite of what I tell you to do tonight, okay? But Brother Bob, very important. You should move to Vegas. Any man that can pick a outright dog, 8.5 points, and they win outright.
I have a short list of players and teams that I apparently hate. Well, maybe it's not that short. The Cowboys, the Patriots. I really don't particularly like Lamar Jackson as an NFL quarterback. He's gotten better, but yeah, I'll bet against him most days.
As you all can see, Bob's in another good mood tonight.
He's in a great mood. All right.
Well, let's, it's tradition. We start off the show. Full disclosure, we haven't, before we start the show, is there anything better than a Crud Light?
Oh,
actually,
that's your fourth different beer in the last 4 weeks.
I'm sampling.
Yeah, there you go. Next week, what are you going to bring in?
You'll see next week.
We'll see next week. All right. Something for the holidays.
Well, I did bring in a special guest. We got Mr. Blue Jeans brought in his friend, Toucan Sam. So Sam's here with us.
All right.
Trying to talk Bob into actually letting them host the show, maybe a best of, but we'll see.
For next week, for Thanksgiving?
For next week, yeah. Because
I just don't know how they're going to talk.
Well, you'll figure it out. You're a pretty talented guy.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right.
So anyway, let's move right along before we lose everybody. And probably will when they hear our picks. So we got the game going tonight. We don't know what the score is. We'll tell you after we do the predictions what the current score is. But I have New England winning 21-14. And I'm going to call it a push. New England's going to win 21-14. Won't be as high scoring as you think.
I'm going to take New England 28-14.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think
they will cover then.
Mac Jones is doing a good job, and I think he's going to continue tonight.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see, and I guess you're telling me the truth, but Atlanta at home, 7.5-point dogs.
Yeah,
that's a lot of point.
Depending on which book you're looking at, 7 or 7.5.
But I believe they're running backs out too, and they looked so bad last week.
I am going to predict New England 28-3, which is the same score that Atlanta had over New England in the Super Bowl before New England came back.
Ooh, ouch.
Wow.
Man, this guy, he cuts like a knife, man.
I like that. All right.
Cuts like a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do the, what is the score right now since we've disclosed our picks? While Bob's looking that up, we have some college picks.
It's nothing.
Nothing. It's going to be a low-scoring game. College picks, I have East Carolina -4 versus Navy. So
come on, that hurts, man.
I know you're a Navy guy, but my guru tells me to take East Carolina. So I'm going to go ahead and take East Carolina.
Okay.
Minus the points. And then my second pick is Utah State -6 versus Wyoming. That is my second pick. You want to make some money this week? Take these two picks.
All right.
And you will be the only person betting on this game.
I got to go with what my guru tells me.
Your guru.
I want to meet your guru.
You'll meet him next week when I hit these.
All right.
I covered last week, Minnesota. It was they were getting +6. They went down all the way to 4. So some people middled, some people won, some people lost. But at game time, it was our Thursday night. It was +6.
Okay.
So they covered.
Okay. All right. With my picks, I'm going to take, we're going to start off with college. And I'm actually taking Michigan State with the points against Ohio State.
They're getting 19 points.
They're getting 19, yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Buckeye through and through. I don't touch games of teams that I have an emotional attachment with, but I would take that one all day long.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game as well.
I think Ohio State could lose outright. Sorry, Buckeye fans.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. And that's going to be a prime time, or is that going to?
No, it's 12 o'clock.
Oh, 12 o'clock.
Right,
wow.
time 12. First game.
Okay, and then for my NFL, I'm actually taking the Panthers, who are playing at home against Washington, and I'm taking the Panthers on this one.
Really? The Washington after that stunning victory?
Yeah, because I think Cam Newton, did you know he was back?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's back.
We'll
and then I'm going to take Carolina 3.5.
So you bash Cam. He should be out of the league. Blah, blah, blah. You got to listen to Bob drone on. And now he's going to come back 7 weeks into the season and lead Carolina to the promised land by beating Washington.
Well, let's see Bob's pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is Washington over Carolina.
Okay.
Because I think Rivera really wants to prove that he was right. Okay. and not bringing him in.
Well, I did tell you that Washington would be 12-5, so all they have to do is win another 10 consecutive games.
No, you said they were going to be 12-5 because you were going to combine this year and next year. You put those together.
Okay, yeah, the way it's going, I should.
Okay.
But after they win 10 consecutive games, they'll be 12-5.
There you go.
And then my second pick, I'm going to go against your rule and bet with my heart and my passion, take San Francisco giving the points against Jacksonville, because I don't think Jacksonville and Meyer win another game.
Yeah. Well, that one's not going down the limb too far, but okay. That's good. Okay, so let's, like I said, we're going to scatter shoot tonight, kind of unstructured, unplanned. But there was a lot of baseball doings, comings, and goings on.
We had a couple of signings today and some awards given out. One of the things that popped up was Verlander signed with the Houston Astros, 1-year deal, $25 million. Good.
Yeah, I mean, don't you feel like you got cheated?
Well, let me ask you a question. You think we're going to get Verlander a couple years ago, or Verlander kind of struggling a little bit? Verlander.
I mean, Verlander's Verlander. He still has the fastball in the high 90s, a lot of veterans, especially at that age, you become a little more craftier. It never hurts to have a veteran on your team. Now, $25 million, it's a lot of money. And the big thing is, can he stay healthy? But, he's a veteran pickup. I don't see a problem with it. Can't hurt.
Yeah, teams are spending money for pitchers right now. Syndergaard goes out west and brings down a pretty big haul.
Yeah.
Syndergaard, man, I used to love that dude. He looked like the Amish guy in, what was that movie with Harrison Ford, Witness?
Well, you're dating yourself, but okay.
Yeah. But he looked, what do they call him, Thor?
He is Thor.
Yeah, he is Thor.
But I'll tell you what, that guy was a flat out stud 2, 3, 4 years ago. And then he had was it Tommy John?
Tommy John, yep.
And so he had light innings. He pitched a couple innings, I think, really. They had him on just kind of get out there and check out your arm, and he did okay.
It's interesting to see some of these signings now and all this money going. The CBA runs out in 2 weeks. And we start, spring training scheduled to start middle of February with pitchers and catchers reporting.
Crazy.
Are we going to have a season? I mean, are they spending money, and is that a hopeful sign for us baseball fans?
I think baseball needs to do something, because that is a question that's going to be popping up, because right now the NFL and the NBA and hockey starting to creep up a little bit, and college football. There's a lot of money out there, and I think the NBA or Major League Baseball, they're going to want a little bit more. They're going to have to make some changes. They are.
Yeah. I think one of the things we've always talked about, rule changes. I tossed this idea around to Max a couple months ago. What do you think, Bob? What do you think about 2 innings before you turn over, just to speed up the game? So basically, it's a 2.
You mean you force pitchers to pitch 2 innings?
They pitch 2 innings, and then
he's saying
it's 6 outs.
6 outs.
6 outs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Or
6 outs.
I think that's a little much, but I mean, I think we're slowly creeping up to 27 outs, 27 pitchers.
Well, we'll see. And that's my point now with today. I mean, you get.
Well, one of the things that's going to come out is the DH. So isn't that going to make it faster as far as more runs? Because they are going to change it. The National League is going to bring it, so they're going to have it. So you're not going to see DH.
I hate to see that. The NL's coming out with a DH now.
Yeah, that's one of the things they're going to pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been experimenting with the pitch clock in one of the minor leagues.
Yes.
And I'd like to see that happen.
That I would like to see.
Average game time this past year in the regular season, 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, but think about it. If you go 6 outs, these pitchers nowadays, if we can get 5 2/3, 6 innings out of them, they're turning it over to relievers. It really is becoming a 3 or 4 pitcher game anymore. 6 outs, you're eliminating that time because it's a tremendous amount each inning. You turnover, it's another 10 minutes.
I don't know if it's an out count or I don't know how we change this all or nothing at bat, where guys are swinging for the fences, which means they're hitting a lot of foul balls. Pitch counts on individual batters are 8, 9, 10 pitches. That's insane.
Yeah. And part of the reason is Altuve, for example. I mean, he steps in, steps out, steps in, steps out, changes his gloves. Speed that up. You think you speed that up and you get the clock on the pitcher. Let's move on. Yeah. The game's under 3 hours now. It can be 2 hours and 45 minutes. There you go.
I have a rule proposal for batters getting out of the box. We just put an electric cattle prod on them. They move out of the box. We electrocute them.
Hey, seriously, if you move out of the box, let's say more than 3 times, then you get a warning. If you do it again, then
it's a strike.
There you go.
I was just saying maybe 3 foul balls equal a strike, but I love that batter pitcher challenge. I hate to take that away.
Stop getting out of the box. Why do you do that?
Yeah, we got to figure something out because I love the game, but it's going too long, kind of like this little bit we just did. Shout out, though, to Rookie of the Year, Jonathan India from my Cincinnati Reds. Had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Second baseman. Got the award presented to him by Johnny Bench, which is super cool.
All right.
So we lost, looks like we lost Castellanos. So Jonathan India, hopefully you'll be there for 2 years till we lose you to the Yankees or the Red Sox, because we're one of the best minor league farm teams in Major League Baseball.
I think the Washington Nationals right now are a pretty good farm team.
We're up there.
MVP?
What else? Anything else?
MVP was...
So Ohtani got the MVP in the AL, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That's what baseball needs right now. They need another superstar.
So I was reading an article. There was a small time sports book that took a $30,000 bet from a guy that said Ohtani would win the MVP. Mm-hmm. He was 30-1 odds, and apparently he's in now to cash $990,000. They're saying
good for him.
This sports book, which is legit. I mean, if you take the money, you got to pay the money, but they said it's small enough that $1 million payout could put him out of business.
Well, if you're a bettor and you can't pay for your bet, they come and break your knees.
Yeah.
What happens when the book can't pay off? Whose knees do you break?
You know what I love about Vegas? They'll take your money all day long, but if you're winning too much, well, sir, we need you to go to another casino.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. The next one.
So, NFL, bad routes, bad decisions. We got 2 plays here we want to show our fans, our listeners, and just so we can go through this. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Bob.
let's pull it up.
I think the first one is,
Deep shot, middle of the field. Beckham was nowhere close. It is Jimmy Ward.
No, that's not Beckham.
Welcome back.
That was Beckham.
That was Odell Beckham Jr.
I was saying catching the ball. That wasn't Beckham.
No, that was Odell Beckham making the hit. Yeah. Good tackle. He needs to wrap up. But what a route. He was running a post route, which means that he was hitting the hash mark in the middle, and he was supposed to be further downfield where the ball was, not watching.
Can you run it one more time?
Yeah.
I won't talk.
Let me pull it back a little bit more for the beginning of that play.
It's a horrible route.
There we go.
Beckham back in there. Fake it to Henderson. Stafford has time.
See where he's throwing it on that line? That's where he needs to be.
Middle of the field. Beckham was nowhere close. It is Jimmy Ward.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was he stopped and paused like I do for a 100-yard dash at about 50 yards.
50 yards. Yeah. I mean, with his speed, run into him because the two things that can happen. Number one, he can catch the ball. That's pretty good. Second thing that can happen, there's going to be a pass interference. So continue your route. That was horrible. And we have a second one?
That wasn't Odell Beckham shit in the bed. But true. So let me ask you guys this. Was Odell Beckham the highest paid decoy the Cleveland Browns had? Because they just got their asses whooped last week without Beckham. So maybe he was just a great decoy and we didn't know it.
I don't know. I'm going to put a little bit more faith in the Browns and just go, they laid an egg, and every now and then teams lay eggs.
Well, did you hear that another one's done the dog pile on the coaches in Cleveland? Myles Garrett is out because of criticizing the coaches.
Wait,
receiver.
Wasn't Garrett the one that beat up Mason Rudolph with his helmet?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep. Myles Garrett is trying to break the sack record so he can get bonuses added onto his contract, and he feels there's limitations to that. So
it was him, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure I got the right guy.
Cleveland's a mess. They're a dumpster fire right now, so they need to get that cleaned up. So we have another round.
We have another one. This is classic. Well, before we pull this, you had mentioned how bad a routes this guy ran and why the Raiders signed him. And here's a great example. Roll tape.
Let me get it started.
All of them for 20 or more yards from the 43. Carr stepping up, keeps his eyes
and touchdown.
Throws caught on the yard line. And he loses the ball at the 14-yard line. So he makes it.
That was a really good lateral.
It was. Again, you're taught in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. I'm going to continue all the way through the NFL. When you catch the ball, turn up field. Just turn up field. What DeShean Jackson does, I don't know what the hell he does.
Man, what
was he doing?
Well, you called it. You said his route running is terrible.
He's horrible, yeah.
And when I saw this video, I said, we got to pull this because take it to the max. He's right again.
One of the things I do have to mention is right there on both with the Raiders, with Carr, and then also with Stafford. At the end of the day, they both get a interception next to their stats, but that wasn't their fault. You know what? I would go to the receivers and say, you know what? Why don't you sit out this quarter? I mean, if you're not going to run a route, why are you out here? Run that route, clean it up, and let's play true football. And let's stop being prima donnas. I mean, it's just, speaking of prima donna, I think Bob's going to mention something here in a second.
No, I was going to say, if you want to put me on an NFL team and bench me for a quarter and give me what OBJ made for that quarter, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Take me to 7-Eleven later and let's get a Slurpee on the way home.
Yeah, you want to see real fireworks, bench OBJ in the middle of a game. Or DeShean Jackson for that matter.
What is up with Antonio Brown?
Speaking of
AB,
wide receivers.
I love this.
Prima donna.
I love this guy, man.
Oh, man.
Love him.
Antonio Brown was caught with a fake COVID-19 vaccination card. I mean, I don't get this guy. I mean, when it comes to refusing to wear his helmet, freezing his feet, and getting in arguments, and this guy just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. It gets to the point where, Drew, honestly, if you own a football team, at what point do you cut this guy?
I don't know, man. I mean, keep him in the NFL. He's so entertaining.
Is he? You know what's going to happen? Tom Brady says...
You can't make this shit up.
You can't, but the distractions... Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. Everybody was saying they're going to repeat. Now they're saying, what's wrong with Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Well...
It's crazy.
Well,
and Brady's got to be beside himself because wasn't he on this mission to get everybody vaxxed on the team?
And he was the one that brought Antonio Brown in. I mean, it was his pick. And my question is, so he had a fake vaccination card. Did Aaron Rodgers have a fake immunization card? And so who's actually the bigger jerk?
So, I was thinking about this. So what's the NFL going to do? Because they were light on Aaron. Now you got to set a precedent because are you going to be tough on one guy, light on another? You got the face of the NFL.
Oh, they have to come down like a ton of bricks on Antonio Brown. This is that's
racist.
You got to be careful though.
That's not racist.
So you're light on the white quarterback, the NFL star, and you're tough on the black receiver.
I'm light on the guy who just busted a few protocols. Okay, he wasn't wearing his mask. Woo! Antonio Brown, isn't faking a vaccination card a federal felony?
There'll be a racial angle to this. You know that.
What? Because the text on the vaccination card is black?
No, because you're treating two guys that cheated and lied about their vax status.
Aaron Rodgers didn't cheat or lie. He just lied to us, the fans. He didn't lie to the NFL. Antonio Brown is lying to the NFL and faking what is in essence a government record.
Mm-hmm. That's a bigger, to me, carrying a card saying that it's something that it's not. Number one, he made a decision knowing that it was wrong. Aaron Rodgers, when he was answering questions, he went through protocols where he was asking to take a different route for him to protect himself.
Okay.
So,
listen, I agree with you, but I watch enough of media.
Oh, yeah.
And they will put a racial angle on this.
Something's going to happen.
If it's treated different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I think it is. So we'll just chalk this one up to Antonio Brown being a knucklehead.
It's a federal crime to make or use any materially false writing in any matter involving a healthcare benefit program. He could face federal criminal charges.
Didn't a bunch of those NFL players get busted that were doing the retirement?
Oh yeah.
Thing. Yeah, that all went down. So.
Yeah.
Well, what's up with the Lakers? Me and Bob are in agreement that we don't talk basketball until after Christmas, but we got Max over here wants to worry or hope about his Lakers.
No.
I'm sorry. Coming to you live from the Crypto.com stadium.
Not till after Christmas. Not till after Christmas.
No more Staples Center. Oh my God, that's crazy, right?
Crypto.com.
The Lakers, right now, they're in 10th place in the conference, Western Conference. And right now, with LeBron being out with some soreness going on, and you would think that the big guy, what's his name, that he went to go
Anthony
sign
Davis.
Anthony Davis, right, was about to carry this team and supposed to carry this team. I haven't seen him do it. I thought he was going to be one of the most dominant players. Right now, I'm worried about the Lakers because if the Lakers were actually, for example, Cleveland, the Cavaliers that are in the Eastern Conference, Cleveland's tied for 6th place.
Yeah.
So if LeBron was at Cleveland, he'd be in the playoffs if they were to start today.
Yeah.
But he's with the Lakers and they're not in the playoffs.
Well, see, here's the problem. And I used to play Y-ball. When you stack a team with all your buddies and they all like to shoot, there's just not enough balls on the court.
They don't have enough balls?
Yeah, maybe they had two. Maybe if they had.
Are they the right inflation, or did Tom Brady come on the court?
Yeah. If you could play with 3 balls in an NBA game, then maybe the Lakers would be.
One thing that was said earlier this morning was the Lakers are going to turn it on, flip the switch. And what switch is everybody talking about? That the Lakers are going to flip the switch.
They'll be fine.
And they'll be fine is what they're saying. And then they're going to make the playoffs. You know what? I hope that they're not fine. I hope that this blows up. And when the Lakers barely, again, make the playoffs or they don't, I want them to struggle a little bit. Let's see how good they can really be if they don't turn it around and get together. So it'll be interesting to watch.
They're going to be in the playoffs. They'll be fine. I'm curious, what's the Vegas odds on the Lakers? I'm going to say now about 15 to 1.
While Bob's looking that up.
Lakers to win?
To win. Probably lower than that, but
Bob's checking that out. One thing that I also was going to mention, the Milwaukee Bucks, the defending champions, they are number 11th. They're missing the playoffs at this time. So not that we're worried, or maybe we are, but, they kind of have to start playing better.
Well, teams. To answer the question of worry or hope, bookmakers are all in the hope. Lakers are plus 650, probability of winning the championship, 12.85%, according to the book. Higher than the Bucks, 10.28%. Higher than the Warriors, who are on a tear. Yeah. Steph Curry is in a zone unheard of in NBA history, 8.57%.
Can we just sell the argument and just say San Antonio wins the NBA championship? What are their odds about, I'm going to say 80 to 1.
Go to that same book that took the bet on Shohei Ohtani and put some money down on that.
San Antonio's won 4 games this year.
They ain't got enough money to accept my bet now.
Yeah. Okay. And then next year we're going to talk about the.
Okay, we always like to wrap up with the college football rankings. We've been in some spirited debates about Oklahoma. I think we've settled that, or they settled it by losing.
Who'd they lose to?
How do they do it like this?
Yeah,
like this?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So for all those Sooner fans who are like going, "Oh, why are we 8th and we're not going to make it? Oh, we should be higher." Yeah, shut up.
Does it make you think that maybe they know more than we do? Well, you always thought that they should have been where they were.
I mean, these guys sit in a conference room. They have statistics and metrics and analytics that we don't have.
True. You got emotion.
Before we go on this topic, I have a joke for Bob. How do you get a Sooner off your porch? You pay for the pizza. Hey, I like that.
Well, why wasn't Jesus born in Oklahoma?
I don't know.
They couldn't find 3 wise men and a virgin.
Oh man.
Okay, I like my joke better.
Or I mean, this joke works for any football team you don't like. What's the difference between Oklahoma and a dollar bill?
You can get changed.
You still get 4 quarters out of a dollar bill.
I like that one. Okay,
but I mean, it's interesting. I'm looking at the CFP rankings. Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State. Top 4 doesn't change. Cincinnati doesn't change. Okay. Michigan State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, rounding out the top 10. We have Michigan State going into Ohio State. No.
Okay, so let's do a scenario.
Yeah.
Michigan State beats Ohio State. What does it look like next week?
Michigan State's number 4.
And then Ohio State drops to probably 6.
Yeah, 7th, 8th.
Yeah, they do.
Who cares where they are because they won't be.
But now here it gets really weird because I love my Buckeyes, but they're not having the season that I have a lot of confidence in. They beat Michigan State, who beat Michigan, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then next week, Ohio State loses to Michigan.
Michigan's in. Okay. I mean, the committee has already put Michigan over Michigan State.
So basically
2 weeks in a row.
Which I thought was kind of weird.
It was the Michigan State Purdue game that the loss to Purdue that knocked them down, the quality of the loss. But we were talking about it earlier. We have 3 undefeated teams in the top 25.
Georgia, Cincinnati, and UTSA.
Yeah. Well, let me run this by you. Okay, and I'm just giving scenarios that you've got nothing changes, but then in the conference championship, Alabama loses. Give me your top 4 if everybody else wins out.
But to do that means that Alabama doesn't lose a game. Georgia doesn't lose a game. They both.
No, Alabama loses to Georgia in the conference championship.
Yeah, but the conference, they really don't take that as more during the regular season.
That's true.
So if Alabama loses to Georgia in the conference, they drop to 4, and that's it. They're still in it.
Really?
Yeah.
You think? With 2 losses, they're going to drop to 4?
With 2 losses, yes, because Georgia is still undefeated. Or with 1 loss, Georgia, they'll drop to number 4. For sure.
Well, Georgia, for sure.
Well, Ohio State has to beat both Michigan and Michigan State.
And win the conference championship. Yeah. Win the conference.
Yeah.
Alabama losing another game.
I just don't see Alabama, if they lose 2, that they're in the top 4. They lost 1 game and they got knocked down to, 6? Had to fight their way back in. You're telling me if they lose 2, they're going to still stay in the top 4?
Well, I think they will, because you got, like what Bob was saying earlier, you got Ohio State playing, and then Oregon still has to play Utah State or something this coming week or next week. And if they lose that one, they're down. They're down to 7 or 8. Oregon is. And then you have that Oregon, when they lose, that Oregon win against Ohio State, it's not as impressive. Ohio State loses.
Well, where I'm going with this is, say, for instance, Alabama does lose and they kick them out of the 4. Everybody else wins. They're talking about Ohio State. If they lost, there's no Big Ten representation. But if Alabama loses and gets kicked out of the 4, then would you have 2 Big Ten teams? Would you?
No, you would have Georgia if Ohio, or not Ohio,
or Cincinnati would slide into.
If Oklahoma State wins out, and remember they have 1 loss. If they win out and beat Baylor or Oklahoma, whoever it is, then they have one loss. They'll sneak up to number 4. And then Alabama behind them at 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Alabama loses to Georgia, I think it's going to be a question of what does that loss look like? Is it a triple overtime win by a field goal, or is it a 21-point loss? Yeah. I think that's going to drive it. Though, quite frankly, I want to see Alabama lose to Georgia, and then be ranked above Cincinnati, just so we can hear all the Bearcat fans whining and moaning about this. Because they don't deserve to be in the CFP. They don't.
Folks, when Bob hates your team in your college, forget about it. It is tough to put Cincinnati up there because they would just get their asses kicked in the conference. If you're a Bearcats fan, play a schedule.
Actually, leave your conference and go join a big boy conference. And for all the,
where would you have them joining? Where would you have them reach out to?
I don't care.
They can go to the ACC.
Big 10?
ACC? I mean, Clemson's there.
Big 10, Big 12, not the SEC because they do.
They've elevated that program enough that they probably could get taken by the SEC or ACC or the...
I mean, the SEC took Oklahoma and Texas.
Ouch. He's on a roll, man.
Yes, I know.
Love this guy. Well, anything else to talk about, folks?
No, let's get ready to go next week. We'll be Thanksgiving, enjoying a lot of games, college and pros. So, and next week, I think we're going to have like a break or something. Is it a spring break for us or summer winter break?
We may have a turkey break of some variety unless something happens and we get a clip show. At the very least, folks, we may actually put up the original, the top 10 thing we did a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago.
You still have our very original show. We never did show it. That one that we did.
I believe so. Yeah.
We can throw that up and see how bad we were and how awesome we've got.
I don't want people vomiting over keyboards and then we're buying people new keyboards.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Everyone have a safe holiday. Yeah. Enjoy the time with your family. Watch football and enjoy it.
Yeah. Enjoy your family. God bless.
Should be a good week.
I-O.